walk away as a loser, given their performance today. Yesterday, Fnatic looked shaky. Cloud9 looks strong. Cloud9 still looks strong, but Fnatic looks a lot better today. Interesting point that might play into the lane swap theory a bit more. Soaz is running teleport. Then again, you can one-up that as, is he going to just sit in top lane, try to teleport bottom, or is he faking a lane swap with the teleport and then forcing Cloud9 to react? I don't think Cloud9 can call the bluff of a lane swap, so they'll go bottom for sure. I have no idea where this is going to end up being, or whether even the lane swap is beneficial for Fnatic. So my best bet would be standard lanes, level 6 TP down from Malpite, trying to get the kills.
I can tell you that Malpite was picked into Jax last time around, so similar actually type of farming, I guess, from the top lane. Similar speed of farming, at least, from the two, Jax and a Shyvana. We already saw that meet up earlier on. Teleport, though, was picked up by Soaz, as he mentioned, and is going to be a much bigger factor on Malphite than it was on Trundle.
Yeah, they might actually use it to go for a delayed buff invade and then teleport back to the lane, something we saw TPA do earlier.
Well, we're going to find out here, 120 into this game, and tense affair that it promises to be. No big risks needed, or is it? There's always two ways to really look at a final game like this. Do you play risky and go pretty much all or nothing, or do you play it safe and hope that you can come out ahead on that front? As we see the first wards do start to go down there, one in the tri-bush on the bottom side. Soaz currently waiting here, and we'll see if he actually gets involved and whether they're going to try and set up a kill in this bottom lane.
Yeah, they're doing go back to season 1, I believe they did that. They did the Clairvoyance bait in this exact same brush. They don't have Clairvoyance, but they have Malphite.
They have Malphite, and they've got Lemonnation face checking in there. Surely first blood, he flashes away. Can they finish him off? There is the first blood. Goes to Rekkles, and it pays off. Trap set by Fnatic. They get the first kill of the game.
I think Soaz was a little mad that he didn't end up getting that kill, I believe. But yeah, that's a really good start, and he's going to go back to the lane with enough experience to not really lose out against the Shyvana. Note that they bypassed both of the wards placed by C9, so they had a false sense of security. Like, they warded both of the sides. High even doing the successful Skara ward, jumping his mid lane counterpart of Dignitas there. But it wasn't enough. Face checked the rush, and they died for it. Good play.
Did, of course, mean that Cyanide had to start off the jungle on his own, but he was perfectly fine with that one. You can see, looking at his hit points, he's full hit points heading in towards that red buff. So no invades from any of the junglers, but a great opening for Fnatic as they got in the Season 3 World Championships. They got themselves first blood. Can they make it count?
And cheesing, or as we call, or just doing a creative play on any lane, couldn't be better than bot lane. This lane was meant to lose. Sivir Thresh against Caitlyn Morgana, but they're not going to lose when they get first blood, and they can push. If a Sivir can push endlessly, she can at least tie up the waves. If she gets pushed or counter pushed, then Morgana can bind a lot easier. If Sivir's the one pushing those, she can predict those binds a lot easier and be able to tie farm and then just scale way better into the mid game.
So, first blood going Fnatic's way. We'll see if they can continue that one, as we did see Soaz, of course, teleporting up in towards that top lane. Finds himself only 5 CS behind, getting himself an assist to his name, and while struggling there to actually last hit the few minions that did come underneath that tower range. But they'll be happy with how this one has all started off. Both top laners kicking things off with Door and Shield. Just to mention there on the supports here as well, Door and Shield actually for Thresh. On the other side, we do have the Spell Thief for Lemonnation.
But yeah, good pickup coming out of that first spot. Soaz not only gets the experience, but he picks up a ward and some potions, and that allows him to get an advantage in top lane that he so desperately needs.
Well, he's leveling out that ground slam if anyone's interested. He's put 2 points into it along with that shard, so he's making sure he keeps pounding on those minions, and every time he gets near balls, he wants to try and use that ground slam to get the gold and, of course, do a little bit of damage. Cyanide, he's roaming, heading towards that top lane. Xpeke already using that satchel charge to get away from Meteos, who jumped in there with that double buff, not landing the damage that he wanted on Xpeke.
Cyanide headed towards top here as well. Double buffs on for him. The ward does time out, but he actually spotted him, so Cyanide not able to get in behind balls. Playing Shyvana here once again, and he's been very, very impressive so far with that Shyvana as the hook comes out, but there's the beauty of the Black Shield.
Yeah, those point blank hooks are always gonna... Lemonnation is gonna purposely run into them and Black Shield them anyways. Negates pretty much the Thresh power on lane. At the same time though, Rekkles is still pushing in all the time, and he's fine doing that. He's fine tie farming this lane for now. On the top gank as well, good thing is Cyanide saw that ward expire, so at least he didn't waste too much time sitting around in the brush. He usually doesn't do that though, but yeah, Fnatic is in control of the early game.
Dark Binding landed on YellowStar. That's going to be giving gold across towards Lemonnation, something we didn't touch on really, but as Doran's shield start up against that Spell Thief's Edge we've seen working so successfully for all the Morgana players so far. Cyanide taking away the Wraith heading in there. YellowStar getting that ward down at the jungle area, making sure Dragon is covered off. Maybe going to throw out one of those Dark Bindings, winding it up. Can he land on Sneaky? Yes, he can. Straight away, the Black Shield straight on towards him. Wasn't followed through by Rekkles, and good feedback straight on towards YellowStar. Good damage coming out from Cloud9.
That was actually a really nice trade for him, considering the fact that he did get hooked into that one. Flay obviously wouldn't have done anything with that shield on him. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, 42 to 38 CS here. xPeke having that advantage, but not really a massive one.
Yeah, we see Meteos just pacing around looking for an opening, but Fnatic's been playing their lanes really well, and he's finding good options there to just spread out the map, but he can't really find any options to gank. And meanwhile, Cyana's going into the top lane. He's trying as well. Both teams are reading the jungle movement pretty well.
Well, Balls did get slowed down slightly there. The shard from Soaz catching on towards him. Meanwhile, again, the cocoon did not quite land on him, so Cyanide not able to get it. Meanwhile, we see xPeke with those bouncing bombs continuing to keep rattling them through. Has got himself a farm advantage, and again, YellowStar going aggressive on Sneaky. This time that Black Shield will time out, but they haven't got the distance, the range. YellowStar turns it back around. Now they're going to go on towards Lemonnation. Mega Inferno Bomb! That's going to get one. They get the second as well. A double kill for Fnatic.
And that is what Rockout would call a wombo combo right there. Not really much you can do. Do you step forward and let the AD carry finish you off? Do you get taken down by the bomb? Either way, you end up with a death by the end of it. That puts Fnatic 3-0 in the lead, and 1,000 gold that they've got on top of it as well. Really well played.
So what's turning in Fnatic's favor? Soaz is not losing his lane that he's meant to lose. He got an early advantage, he got wards and he got potions. Meteos is not finding his opening, and the bottom lane, Sivir Thresh, is surprisingly beating Morgana and Caitlyn, and that was really good communication. Like they said, we're fighting right now, zone out the AD carry, turn on the support, and the only thing Meteos can do right now is how to pressure on bottom. He's going to try and go for a buff steal, but he has no idea if this is warded or not.
But this is a good steal because he knows that Mega Inferno Bomb was used. He knows that xPeke just went back to buy, and he gets in and steals it. Good counterplay from Cloud9. Quick work from Meteos once again.
He's now going to head up towards this top lane as he hits level 6. Soaz may be in trouble, although so Malpite is always going to have that unstoppable force. There is that ward down now. We can see that Soaz, he knows that this is going to happen, but if he actually backs away from the turret, it's even easier kill. Instead, though, they send Cyanide up towards his top lane. They may just go in there. Oh, everything missed. Everything missed there from Fnatic. Meteos just jumps away.
Meteos read that like a book there. They knew that it was coming, suddenly realized Soaz, why is he stepping towards me? Why is he coming in? Oh, hell, it's warded. Quickly get away. Sneaky gonna get caught out. YellowStar going on. Hasn't used the death sentence just yet. There's gonna be the last. The barrier, though, came out. They tried to gift it across the Rekkles instead of finishing off the kill.
So both these teams have been playing so well so far, and now it's a flurry of mistakes in a row. That Malpite ulti missed point blank. I don't even think Meteos moved. He knew Elise was coming, but he was waiting for her to come around the side. He didn't know he was on top of a ward. Meteos thought he had the upper hand. He didn't, but I think he got lucky, and Soaz is definitely going to hate on himself a little bit for now for missing that ulti, because that was an important turnaround. However, even though the play on bot lane fails, they still put the AD carry on 10%, push tower pressure, but if that boomerang blade connected, that could have been lethal.
The counter from Fnatic as well. Cyanide at the blue buff. I think they're going to give this one across to xPeke. If xPeke makes a move, instead he may just steal it away. Cyanide can make good use of that one on Elise. And meanwhile, the bottom tower also taking a lot of pressure. Fnatic pulling the screws onto Cloud9.
Yeah, and it's Sal Meteos at the left side of the map, so they're going in on bottom.
There we go. Good binding actually coming out. That's going to stop Rekkles from getting involved, but there is the bomb once again. Lemonnation going to try and sidestep, but he goes down anyway, and it is the kill coming in for Rekkles. Meanwhile, xPeke is going to get chased down. Can he escape? What a flash, but there's a following from high.
We well played. Good reaction by both teams. We know Meteos is at the left side. What does Cyanide do? Get the blue. He's still at the left side. Fine. I'll go for the dive. If the dive is happening, though, we know Ziggs is going to use his ulti, and that's a really sick game read by high. Okay, xPeke, you're looking down on bottom. Well, I'm looking at you, and I'm going to kill you and just punish you for using your ultimate on the other lane. So both teams with impressive play.
but this is the problem. Cloud9 did this in game 1. They were countering the plays, but they were losing out in the fights. So may well be picking 1 kill up, but they're losing 2 deaths in the process, along with that tower. Cyanide now trying to go for that red buff steal. Not going to happen. Meteos getting in, evading. Meteos doing a grand job on Kha'Zix once again here.
If they see High base, they know High went in there, they know High didn't go out there. They might actually go for a Drake, combine that with Caitlyn basing, so we'll see what Fnatic reacts with. Although Meteos is out-leveling Cyanide for now, and that's testament that nobody got any ganks up, but Meteos farmed a little better, but I think both of these junglers are doing a good job, at least trying for some ganks, backing off when they know when it fails, because good junglers gank well, but they also know when it just won't happen, and they adapt and they keep farming and they keep relevant in the game. Fnatic knows the base timings again, and they react with the Drake. Really solid play.
First one of the game coming in. 10 minutes and 45. Also want to give some props to Soaz really in this top lane, really holding his own against Shyvana at this stage of things. 88 to 94 CS. Sunfire Cave almost done for Soaz.
Yeah, we know which way it's going to go as well. It's going to be that Sunfire Cave, then it's going to be into that Trinity Force. We'll see if he feels that's required or whether he needs to go a little bit more tanky. Lemonnation, this is what happened in game 1. He did manage to rotate. They started picking up kills of it, and you can see it's going to be a dive on Soaz.
Yeah, this might play into Fnatic's playstyle though. They have Rekkles on the bottom, just farming away. If they can spot them coming in, they can counter it, but they did not in time.
Oh, and actually the binding lands onto him there. There is the unstoppable force. Lemonnation taking it up. He gets the kill back. And again, credit to Soaz picking up a kill in a scenario where it looked like he was gone. Meanwhile, they're going in on towards High. There is a Cocoon. The bomb comes in. Surely they can finish him off. The hook lands as well. They pin him down, and YellowStar gets the kill.
This is YellowStar, damn right, outplaying people with Thresh. Every time they have a flash down, he knows I can go into their face, walk up, plant my body in, box him in, hook him in, and just CC them. And people don't respect his zone enough, and he's just punishing them for it. And just, even though they dive top, Fnatic counters in mid.
They're trading blow for blow. Top tower down, mid tower going down. The bottom lane, actually, we did see Rekkles continuing to keep pressure on towards Sneaky all in his own. Lemonnation is back up and coming in there, which is why we're seeing Rekkles backing away. But this is going to be the 3rd game that we all wanted in the semi-final.
And that top lane play by Soaz actually points out an issue with this comp. If Soaz managed to hit a few people or is unpredictable where he's going to go, you only have 1 black shield and you have multiple people that really would like it. So Soaz needs to be smart and just outplay Lemonnation on a target selection basis.
See if we can do that as we get closer to bigger team fights coming in. Of course, the last Dragon wasn't much of a fight for that one. Fnatic were able to pick that one up without any problems. They have a 3,000 gold lead as a result of that, and the 2-1 turret lead and the 62 kill lead that they currently hold over Cloud9.
We haven't seen Sneaky being able to really get involved in anything so far. He's been pretty much picked off, and he's doing a good job of farming. He's keeping himself relevant. Soaz, though, up against Balls, he's really starting to win out this trade, and it's fairly even between the two. Of course, the passive that Soaz gets on that Malpite will give him that little shield. Blue buff being picked up by xPeke. Meteos, again, visiting this top lane. They're really having to sit on Soaz.
If we take a look at the tower HPs, though, bottom lane tower full HP for Fnatic, mid lane tower full HP for Fnatic. They've lost their top lane, but they have the map pressure because they got a tower lead already, and they really want that top lane tower to consolidate that lead. They want the map pressure and they want to start warding aggressively. And when Soaz's TP is up again, they can start making creative plays, TPing around, Sivir mobility. Meanwhile, they know they can have wave clear even at 2 lanes at the same time with Ziggs. xPeke is definitely finding his groove playing the Ziggs.
That's the danger of that teleport Malphite. You can't push too far down in lane, because if there's a ward there that you've not checked out, for example, down on that bottom side of the map, we see one in the tri-bush, or in the mid lane even, there's one behind Cloud9's position. Is YellowStar gonna go on towards Lemonnation here? Again, a good flay coming in, but that mid lane is really, as I say that, the ward time's out there halfway up the lane, but that's the kind of thing that Cloud9 needs to be real careful about.
So you see Soaz is drawing his Shyvana back to top lane. Now Balls actually does not want to be top lane all the time anymore. He roamed down to mid. Soaz says, well, okay, I can get there quicker than you with teleport anyways. Come fight me 1v1. I'll keep pushing the lanes up. If I want to go, well, you can run, I can teleport. And this plays into Fnatic's favor. He tied out a lane with an unfavorable matchup and with a summoner spell down. And that's really impressive by Soaz. Barring the one ulti he missed, he's doing a good job so far.
Yeah, YellowStar has been a beast on Thresh so far. Everybody, of course, saw the combo that he did miss, but nobody really counts all those combos that he does land, and he's been creating so many plays, and it's actually given him a pretty big item advantage over Lemonnation so far with that talisman well underway. He's of course got that sight stone in there and that boots of mobility. He's zipping around the map and he's making use of himself as well when he's getting around the map. Cyanide coming back in. Blue buff invade was picked up last time around and they may well be going for the timer on it once again.
Certainly pink ward put down by that blue, as you said there. And actually, I just want to point out the CS in that mid lane, because the fact is, it was very, very level for quite a long time in that mid lane. Peke now being able to finally pull himself ahead with that blue buff, able to spam a lot, putting a lot of harass down on towards high as well. That's a very, very nice start to him. Of course, with those bombs getting him assists, he doesn't really need to leave his lane to actually get involved in those kills.
Meteos was sitting off at the side there, hoping that Peke was going to come across, try and land that gank, but instead, he didn't count on Rekkles, Cyanide, and YellowStar all coming in and just sieging out and taking out that blue buff.
See, that CS was a good point, because Peke is unleashing his inner frog right now. He's just farming Wraiths and Wolves all the time, while Cyanide is playing more of a supportive jungler, and he's just backing up the bot lane, because we don't want them to get overrun. He's backing it up. Worst case, if he goes for a fight, we get the Malpite TP. Issue for Fnatic right now is Shyvana outpushes Malpite, so even if he wants to TP, Balls could technically cancel it with his ulti, as well as constantly pressure down that turret on top lane. So that TP is somewhat nullified at this point, but it's still a threat whenever they split waves.
You're saying how it pushes him, but I can see a Sheen. I can see the Trinity Force underway. He can push
right now,
very fast once that's completed, yeah.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the sustain. Basically what Balls will do is run into the wave cleared. Yeah, you can poke me all day, next wave I'll just sustain up. And he wants to draw people towards the top lane, but Fnatic, they're not biting. They're fine doing mid and bottom right now. They're waiting for an opening. I think we're definitely gonna see a Drake right here. Probably another stall until next Drake, and eventually this will end up going for a Baron, I believe, or just trying to catch people out of their position, because sieging straight up, I don't think is going to work.
Well, they keep on poking, they keep on pushing, they keep on prodding. Dragon is alive, and Fnatic are making their move for it. Will Cloud9 try and counter this one? Do they feel they're in a position to?
I don't think they are.
I'm not sure that they do, to be honest. We can see that not really making any kind of move to fight for that one, and that will be Dragon number 2 of the game going over to Fnatic. It extends their lead now to 4,000, and Sneaky, oh, he almost gets away, has to flash there.
2 flashes for 1.
Yeah, 2 flashes for 1, not even that bad.
But a good play by Fnatic, a nice try. They try to be aggressive where they can, but they don't overplay their hand again. They're just playing the stall out game, because it's too early to go for these Baron plays. We saw that last time in where Cloud9 had the upper hand. They tried baiting Baron over and over and over, but it just wasn't working. Fnatic knows Baron won't work, pushing won't work, so just keep them in vision, know exactly where they are, don't farm less than them, spread out the farm correctly, go for the next Drake, and eventually they will be able to control the Baron area.
They also know that the flash is down on Sneaky, and that's why we're seeing High coming down to try and help out here, try and separate them. Bloodthirster fully stacked by Rekkles, has had it for a very long time, now gone towards that Zeal. He's a full, almost item build ahead of Sneaky, despite the fact the farm is relatively close. Of course, that 2-1-2 kill advantage that Rekkles has is giving him a big advantage. Meteos using his ultimate as his second evolve there, so he really feels that he's going to be the one that has to jump in and take the damage and try and mitigate it with that ultimate.
Meteos is going up on top though, looking for a catch.
Yeah, probably going to get Soaz here as well. There is the unstoppable force use, pushes him on towards Meteos, flashes away. Not sure that was particularly worth it there for Soaz. He is going to go down. We do see Elise coming across, but Cyanide needs to be careful. Here comes Peke from the side. The YellowStar, Rekkles getting involved. Great satchel charge. Ball's going to get slowed down, and he's going to be finished off in the end. Ultimate from xPeke, a little bit preemptive, but they got the kill back.
See, if I was Cloud9, I would think Soaz is crazy, but what he was doing there, he was stalling. He's dodging ultis, baiting them into his team, and Fnatic yet again, they answered those catches with collapses, and they're collapsing so well. This is the same thing they did game 1, and this is getting them ahead.
But they're putting good pressure on towards this mid lane turret. Top lane turret will go down. Fnatic going to pressure that one. Cloud9 going to react and get themselves something for nothing here. And that mid lane turret does go down, but now they need to react. Fnatic continuing that pressure. They're pushing on towards the top.
They're scared of the Ziggs wave clear, so they're heading down to top because they have to stop Fnatic.
They do, and that turret going to get chunked pretty quickly there by Rekkles. We can actually see that the rest of Cloud9 are starting to come in. There's a hook landing on towards high. Box goes down. Are they going to go and fight here from this one? Cyanide down to half HP. Slowed up as well. YellowStar will fall, but can Cyanide escape this one? I don't think so. Ace in the hole was used. Actually was taken there in the end by Meteos for the double.
And this was the correct call. by Cloud9. Okay, Peke is trying to answer here with a push, but he doesn't have enough tools to take that tower down. Cloud9 collapsed on Fnatic. Fnatic overstayed their welcome, and they got caught for it. Little miscommunication as well. YellowStar knew he was dead. He was just going for the hook, and then in the box, and then a delayed flight to stall as much for his team, but he kind of baited his team into fighting there. I don't think it mattered much, but Fnatic definitely didn't back out in time, so they didn't have the complete vision. They're not as playing as perfect as they were before.
Oh, yeah. Soaz is going to be headed towards that top lane. Teleport coming in. I'm not sure it's even going to be needed here. Rekkles are just going to hammer high.
Thing is, it allows Rekkles to play so aggressive. If you know you're getting back up, you can move forward. If you know you're not getting backwards, you're probably going to move backwards, and then you eat a lot more skill shots from high. High will never expect Sivir to rush down the lane in those fights. Like, who would do that unless they're getting back up?
Ace in the hole being used on towards Peke, and I feel the whole of Fnatic were actually caught out by the fact that Peke did back on that last one. Look at the damage Meteos has taken from Soaz. He's nearly got that Trinity Force complete, just needs to get the Zeal, and 3 extra gold is all it takes, of course. Mega Inferno Bomb trying to take a look shot onto Meteos, not going to catch him out in the base, so unfortunately. He did get a wave push on that bottom lane, Soaz, before he managed to move around going towards that top lane. He's everywhere right now, keeping shoving those lanes.
But look at how Fnatic is playing this game. They have aggressive pushes on all 3 lanes, and at the same time they have wards in between, so they're not getting caught on the rotations, and they're pushing up all lanes to put pressure. That means they can steal buffs, and eventually, give it a couple more minutes, they will start falling back onto the Baron.
So Meteos starts to move through that jungle there. Wrestle back that control. Lemonnation with the pinks in. Fnatic still a little bit further behind than that one. We did just see the return back to base, and a Phantom Dancer purchase for Sivir, and meet Rabadon's Death Captain a little bit earlier on actually for Ziggs. So with those extra items in there, do they want to fight at this point? Unstoppable Force is off cooldown for Soaz. Well, they can get that started if they can target out more than one guy. You mentioned that earlier, that if it's just one guy that you're going for, Black Shield's going to be able to keep him safe, but if you're going for a group, which you'd imagine that he's going to at least try to get into, you can't Black Shield them all.
If this ends up going into a push, I can almost see Fnatic winning out, because the wave clear is a little hard to beat. They have to get into bomb range, and then Malpite can follow up really easily. However, I'm not sure what's exactly going to happen.
At the moment, we are waiting for Fnatic to make their move. You can see they keep on pushing, keep on pressing, keep on prodding. Well, they have yet to make a pick and yet to make a play. This may well be it. Cyanide getting caught out. Look at the damage coming out. Ace in the hole's going to come through. Cyanide takes the lantern, just about getting out safe there. YellowStar using that play to keep him away. We saw Balls going big on the last one. He's keeping that pressure down, but there's a lot of damage this time around coming out from Fnatic. Then Rekkles fancies this one. There's going to be the Unstoppable Force. Lemonnation using his ultimate, but it's to no avail. And Rekkles fancies it. He goes in, flashes for it. This goes straight on towards Sneaky. The shockwave does enough. Rekkles getting taken low, but he gets himself another kill and another kill, and now High all on his own trying to get away from this one, but the barrel, well, he does manage to flash. YellowStar's coming in for this one, gets caught out. Nice play from High, but that's the ace for Fnatic.
And this is really impressive. Good catch by Cloud9, but again, they chased too much. Ace in the hole put him low, but the second the lantern hits and the second the Black Shield is used, you gotta get out of there, because there's no bigger signal for a Malpite to go in on any target he wishes when Black Shield is down. He can just choose one, and this inevitably leads to a Baron, because Cloud9 are all dead.
Yep, Fnatic, as you say, up against no enemies. Easy Baron for them from this one after a great ace. That's going to put them way into the lead in this game. We'll see how that gold ticks over. 42 to 34,000 gold. Almost a 10k gold lead here now for Fnatic. I'm interested to see exactly what they do with this extra gold. It's 2,000 gold for Peke to spend, 1,500 for Soaz as well. So they're going to be finishing off a couple more items. Cloud9 trying to counter this with a little bit at least with a dragon to get some gold back on their side.
And any problems Fnatic had trying to push down these lanes and going in, they're solved right now. You can just dive in. Malpite is tanking up. They have the Baron buff, they have the poke, Sivir mobility. They've reached the point where they're strong enough to just siege 5v5, and they can basically force Cloud9 out there. Cloud9 needs to look for those catches. Look what they have in terms of hard CC, except for a binding and a trap follow-up. Not too much. They need a ball delivery system, and that's their saving grace. They need Shyvana with Oriana ulti onto Fnatic, but Fnatic will just Sivir ulti and spread out, and it's very hard to get them.
Trinity Force completed by Soaz. We'll see how that works out for him. He's also got that Spectral Cowl in there, so Spirit Visage may well be following High's damage is starting to ramp up now and is starting to become an issue they need dealing with. Cyanide, of course, was the main leading agitator there that Lemonnation tried to jump on, that Balls tried to jump on, but again, that Lantern working so well, and it's actually a champion Thresh that we've seen working so well. You look at Type A Assassins were making great use of it. We saw WE making use of it. Fortunately, of course, they went out, but Thresh seems to be the king today once again, despite the fact Morgana has been working well.
Yeah, 3-2-6 here is YellowStar. Doing it very, very well, that's for sure. As actually Cloud9 sat back on their inner turret in the mid lane. They may just have to give this one up, you know, with that poke from xPeke in particular. Boomerangs coming flying over, the danger of being hooked in then. Followed up straight away by an unstoppable force. Meanwhile, we do see Soaz pushing down this bottom lane straight up towards that inner turret. This should be a freebie.
Yeah, they fake a 4-1 split push, but instead they all rotate down to bottom and they just get the tower.
Yeah, very well played, using that Lantern to speed up the process. The hook on towards Sneaky there, quickly followed by the Mega Inferno Bomb. That means Sneaky's going to have to back away towards that fountain unless he's going to try and lifesteal away, but that is dangerous, risky play. And Fnatic are going to keep on pressure on towards that tower. The wave does get cleared quickly by High, but they are already sieging down this first inhibitor turret.
And this is where Ziggs becomes extremely, extremely annoying. You can't really stick to that turret. We see there that Fnatic just able to wedge themselves in there, pick up that one, and now they're going to go for that open inhibitor. A lot of good damage coming down on towards Balls. He's forced away as another bouncing bomb lands. Fnatic take the first inhibitor.
Fantastic stuff. Fnatic trying to etch themselves in towards that final. Of course, they made it to the semi-finals last year against Azubu Blaze. They got beaten then after that epic game against SK Gaming that I'm sure everybody that was in attendance would remember. But Fnatic, can they make the final? They feel like they've got one foot in it. They're a 9,000 gold advantage and taking everything away from Cloud9.
So yeah, their Baron buff is about to wear off. They still have a lot of time until it spawns again. My reaction is probably going to be Soaz is going to push out top. As long as he's safe, he's going to keep pushing that, and then Fnatic can decide whether they go into 1-4 with teleport split push, or they just rotate again to one lane and just push it down. They're in full control. As long as they ward up progressively, ward in, secure an area, ward in again, and don't get caught by a rush by Shyvana or Oriana, they're in a good spot. Right now, they're pressuring middle tower. I wouldn't pressure it as much. Just wait for Soaz to push up top. Be 100% safe. Ward your flanks. As long as nobody pincers you, you're good to go.
Yeah, any mistake made by Cloud9, I feel is going to get pounced on by Fnatic. That Baron buff, not too long left on it. It's about to wear off, but they are still keeping that pressure down. And like you say, that top lane turret, somebody from Cloud9 has to deal with it. And look at that, Fnatic, exactly like they did on the bottom lane. Quick transition straight to the top. That tower's going.
Yeah, nothing that they can do about this one, Cloud9 either. Too slow to react to that one. Soaz pushing up nicely. Fnatic rotating in, and they're going to go straight on towards inhibitor turret number 2. Meteos on Balls may look to try and come in from around the back, but will the pincer work out for them? There's the ultimate pop by Rekkles. They start to back away, and Cloud9 can't catch him. Oh, ultimate in there from Soaz. He flashed in as well. Bomb goes off the side. Lemonnation is going to stall up YellowStar, but they're in the back. There's good damage coming out from Cyanide. Sneaky is going to fall. Balls is doing good damage on towards Peke, but the rest of Fnatic are chasing in. Meteos uses that ultimate. Meanwhile, Rekkles chasing down High. Shockwave's actually bringing him closer there, but Rekkles backs away. He wants himself the inhib.
They need to deal with Balls. Balls is going to try and come around the backside, and Rekkles has got to be careful he doesn't get caught out. That's why they're sticking towards him. Meteos simply does not have the burst damage on Soaz. He has that passive, of course, and just walks in with a Sunfire Cake. But one Nexus turret has gone down. They're keeping that pressure going, and Cloud9 are in defensive duties.
If this was any closer, this was a perfect fight for Cloud9. Basically, they baited Fnatic into going to that turret. Fnatic thought they were alone in mid, too far out, so hey, we can take you another turret. But this invites Cloud9 to pincer, as we called out earlier. The problem is, though, Cloud9 is just too far behind, and Rekkles got that tower down in time. If that tower was up during that fight, then they would have been in trouble, but they just didn't have enough damage. They flanked Peke, they got him down, but it just wasn't enough, and Fnatic keeps answering right now, like he takes down the tower in mid. Next Baron's gonna spawn. There's no way in hell Cloud9 get in there in time, unless they get a lucky smite. Still, this game is almost in the back for Fnatic, and they're looking sharp for the finals.
Rekkles got 3,000 gold to spend here, and actually we do see Blade of the Ruined King is gonna be added into him. Soaz, meanwhile, does have a Guardian Angel now in there as well. So if they went harder to kill before, that's certainly going to make it a little bit more difficult for Cloud9. It's over 10,000 gold. It's more like 13,000 at this point of things. Less than a minute for that Baron. Are we going to see Fnatic wait for that one, or do they feel comfortable enough as they are?
We're trying to see Fnatic want to try and make a pick, try and pick somebody off, but Meteos, he's down the bottom, not falling for it. He's actually waiting himself. He's in the tri-bush. He wants to try and hope that he can catch Rekkles off guard, but it's not happening. Fnatic are clumped up as that 5-man unit and moving straight in with that giant wrecking ball up front in the form of Soaz.
And he has that ultimate available, and we've seen he's not scared to flash in there and use his unstoppable force to really get things going, and he's just playing the rock at the front of that one. The hook comes through, doesn't land, but it doesn't really matter. It's pushed Cloud9 away. That inhibitor actually, the inhibitor turret is still alive. The inhibitor on the bottom lane has just respawned, but Baron is coming right up from this one, and we're going to see Fnatic go to it.
And this is perfectly timed. They've got super minions at the top and the bottom wave pushing in that Cloud9 have to deal with. Fnatic know that. They know they're going to have no pressure whatsoever on towards this Baron. They're going to take it for free.
Yeah, Fnatic could have waited 30 seconds waiting for picks, but at the same time they said, like, give it a go at mid. Don't go too deep. Just get as much tower damage as you can. Force them to defend mid, and as you pointed out, the sides just push in, and then by that moment they're like, well, we could finish this, but let's pick up a free Baron first, and then just go back and finish this game. Fnatic is in full control. They give up a Drake, but who cares at this point?
They're giving up a Drake, but they're way out of position. They've got to recall fast because Fnatic are almost in their base. If Fnatic had any vision down there, they would have completely jumped on that one, but completely caught off guard. Meteos yet to go back. Mage jump on YellowStar off the side. Mega Inferno bomb was used, but they get themselves the final inhibitor turret.
Clearing out the minions a little bit faster, I suppose, is what he got from that in the end. We are going to see them actually being pushed from behind. Meteos is moving up that mid lane, has to ult himself there just to really get away from that one. Find himself a better position. YellowStar, is he going to blind hook through that one? Nope, Meteos is off to do the race on the bottom side of the map.
He's delaying them. He's doing a great job of delaying
flanking them, and he forced the Sivir ulti. Sadly, it probably won't be enough, but it's a good idea trying to flank them. Make them use the Sivir ult, but you look, they just walk in, take that inhibitor, the other one's up. Cloud9 is spread out and looking for a catch.
Shockwave only catching on YellowStar. That's not going to be enough. And look at that. That's going to be the unstoppable force. Sneak is in all sorts of trouble. He's got 4 members of Fnatic pounding down on him. The final inhibitor is going to go down. They do manage to close on towards xPeke, but what does that matter when there's 4 members that are giant wrecking balls? Soaz with the Trinity Force, he can take the Nexus turret on his own. Backed up by Rekkles. It is going to be Fnatic that get themselves into the finals of the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships with a great performance, taking down their North American compatriots, Cloud9.
Brilliant, brilliant performance, and you can see what it means to them there as well. 2-1. Game number 2 definitely didn't go their way. The poke comp didn't work out for them, but this time playing it by the book, and I have to say once again, Rekkles 7-1-8, got to a great position, farmed up a storm, to be honest, as he does even when they lose, to be honest. He's very, very reliable on that front, and he did the work in that one. We saw him in that fight in the mid lane, flashing in there, not being scared to use the advantage that he'd built himself up.
Yeah, and looking at how well Fnatic played there, just really impressive, and I've always been rooting for them as a European here at Katowice. Yeah, I knew they were going to take it, of course. Yeah, the croissants taking it home. And yeah, well played, and I'm just impressed by Rekkles. His playstyle, Fnatic plays around it so well. They let him farm on his own when they have to, but he does commit to these fights. He collapses with his team so well, and that's something Cloud9 had a little bit of issues with in the first game, especially balls being so split. It's fine if you're split, but your team needs to play around it. You can't go for these extended engages if you end up being collapsed.